guys, it's Jessii Vee, and today's video is actually going to be about some very tragic accidents and stories. I didn't mean for this video to get so dark when I was doing research. I was actually starting to do like the It's Near You series about different countries around the world, and I wanted to do one on Australia. So I started doing research and I found all of these really sad, true stories that occurred. So this video just kind of became that. So just be ready for it. By the way, to lighten up the mood a little bit before we get started, I have a Dumbo shirt on. Look at Dumbo, he's so cute. I used to love this movie as a kid, and the lullaby song when he's with his mother makes me cry every single time. By the way, if you want to see what my tattoo looks like under this sleeve, I have the vlog up right now. Also, before we get started, just a reminder, this is the last video that I'm doing in March. So if you would like a last chance to win the backdrop, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, so my Jessii Vee channel, turn on your notification bell, and then head over to my two Instagram accounts. One is my main one, Jessii Vee. One is my YANA one, so YANA_group. Follow them both, and then DM me on my Jessii Vee account one of your favorite inspirational quotes. And I will literally be announcing the winner in the next video that you will be seeing in April. Alright guys, so without further ado, let's get right into today's video. This first tragic story is about the Luna Park ghost train fire. On June 9th, 1979, approximately 35 riders boarded the Sydney ghost train ride in Australia's beloved harbour attraction Luna Park. 7 of them would not leave the train tunnel alive. Now, since 1935, the ghost train ride had been a staple at Sydney's most famous amusement park. The train car took the riders through this labyrinth of dark tunnels where they would be surprised by jump scares and sort of haunted house style special effects. So it's supposed to be like a scary, very dark ride. You couldn't see anything except for the creepy things popping out at you. Well, on the night of June 9th, people started smelling smoke coming from the interior of the ride, and since the ghost train's usual staff weren't present at the time, the people operating the ride dismissed it and thought that maybe it was just from the ride. Like maybe it was a normal thing that happened. But once these black clouds started to come out from the tunnels of the ride, it was clear that something was very wrong. This was about 10:15 at night. The riders were evacuated from the train cars and they emerged from the tunnels unscathed, and at first everyone thought that all the riders got out safely. But by 11:30 p.m. it was discovered that 7 riders had never gotten out of the ride. It is believed that those who died had left their train cars upon realizing the ride was on fire and became disoriented and trapped inside the tunnel. And it sucks because the ride wasn't even equipped with any emergency exits or even exit signs for people to see. So they jumped out of the cars in fear when they saw the ride was on fire and just got lost in the tunnels of darkness, which is so sad and would be so terrifying. Now, this is where this tragic situation gets really creepy. 3 of the victims were Damien Godson, along with his father and 4-year-old brother. And prior to the accident, the Godson family had been waiting for a ferry to Luna Park when they were approached by a terrifying looking figure. He was dressed in a loincloth, he had a mask on and this horned headdress. The man reportedly came up to the family, placed his hand on 6-year-old Damien's shoulder, and a photo was taken. And to this day, no one knows the identity of this man dressed as a creepy figure, but some people believe he was dressed up as what's called the god Moloch, who asked for children to be sacrificed with fire or war. Other people think that this man was connected to a local cult, which is also really terrifying. And some of the staff from that night reported seeing a group of strange men standing around the ride prior to the disaster, and they were discussing using kerosene and matches to light a fire. So the question is, was this an accident? Was this planned by a scary group that was like lingering around taking photos with people? It's just scary that this was the last photo of these kids being alive, and this person in the photo could have caused that fire. Like, it's terrifying. The next story is about the Princess Theatre ghost. This is a tragic story of Frederick Baker, who was born in London in 1850. He was really desperate to start acting, so he changed his name to Frederick Fredrisi, and he found a lot of success in musicals and operas cinemas, and Frederick joined a really popular touring company in 1887, and that brought him to the town of Melbourne. And this company performed an array of shows like The Mikado, The Pirates of Penzance, and Faust, or is it Faust? And he actually played the role of the double, which, Opening night was March 3rd, 1888, and the Princess Theatre where the show was to be performed was packed full. Now, Frederick was always super dynamic on stage. People were always so excited to see him. And during the conclusion of the play, he was lowered through a trap door in the floor, accompanied by the applause of the audience. But upon reaching the floor underneath the stage, Frederick suffered a sudden heart attack and collapsed in the spot that he was standing. He died instantly at the young age of 37. And in the confusion of the play's conclusion, none of the cast had any idea of what had gone on. They literally went back on stage so they could all take their bows, and they thought at the time that Frederick was up there with them, and it wasn't until after that they found out what had happened. So he literally performed his last show ever and died right under the stage. Frederick was later buried in the Melbourne General Cemetery, and his grave can still be viewed there today, and since then, workers and actors have experienced strange things within the theater, like unexplained goosebumps, lights flashing on and off, and some have even reported sights of a good-looking man in 1880s dress, sometimes sitting in a chair in the dress circle watching the performances. Now, even the theater's bistro is named after this ghost, and a seat is reserved for him on opening night of each new performance, and it's considered to be very good luck if he shows up. And then lastly, we have the Haunted Arcade in Adelaide. The historic Adelaide Arcade is the oldest shopping arcade in Australia, so it makes sense that it might be home to a few ghost stories. Now, the story that everyone tells is about a caretaker named Francis Clooney, and he actually died in the arcade's engine room on June 21st of 1887. Now, they say that his death was particularly gruesome and tragic. He was apparently mangled by the arcade's generator, the site of which is now a dry cleaning shop. But since then, strange sounds and footsteps have been heard within the arcade, all believed to be Clooney. And there was even some video footage from 2008 showing an actual really eerie sighting of his ghost. And actually, other deaths have occurred within the arcade. A woman named Florence Horton was shot in the back by her husband in 1904, and there's another story of a 3-year-old named Sydney Byron, who was believed to have been smothered to death by his mother in 1902. So a lot of very gruesome deaths have occurred at this arcade, and so a lot of people see ghosts here all the time. Anyways, those are all of these sad stories I'm gonna be telling today. I'm sorry it got so dark. It's just when I was doing research, these were the ones that popped out to me the most. But yeah, if you want me to continue this It's Near You series, give this video a thumbs up and let me know. I'm not just doing states anymore. I'm actually going to countries all over the world to give everyone the opportunity to see where they're living in my videos. So comment down below where you're from, because if I see a lot of upvotes on one place, I will do that next. And yeah, don't forget if you would like any more of the Adopt a Gnomes, and we do have a few Easter mystery boxes left with golden tickets. Those will all be linked down below in the description, but I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!